Have you ever felt like a sloth going about your day extremely slow, not getting much accomplished? Well, have no fear, because I, Justin, am here to give you a swift kick in your ass. I have partnered with Rep Sports, the creators of the Raz Energy drink, and we have partnered to come up with an exclusive offer to all my listeners. If you visit repsports.com and you make a purchase, if you put in a discount code KFP, you will receive 15% off of your purchase. Again, visit repsports.com. Once you make your final purchase, put in this promo code KFP and you will get an additional 15% off your total. And that, my friend, is how I'm going to get your ass moving.
Welcome back to the Second City Pod. Today I'm the hostess with the mostest. Fuck you, it's Andrew. And yeah, go ahead.
And I'm Justin. Nice intro, Andrew.
Thank you. I thought about it. Wow.
I see that. So, Andrew, I find you a little entertaining, maybe a little funny, but the gentleman that we have on our show is funny, and that is stand-up comedian. he's like, maybe. That is Damon Millard. Damon, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, man. I have my moments. Yeah. How you guys doing?
Well, we're doing good. I mean, Andrew, how are you?
I'm not drunk, so I don't know how to feel.
Oh, that's good to know.
I'm just joking. I don't have a problem. Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Good, awesome. So, Damon, tell us a little snippet of who you are, kind of like where you started, and yeah, just a little snippet of your little bio of you.
Okay, sure. Well, I guess I'm a stand-up comic. That's my thing, I guess. I've been at it for like 10 and a half years. I started in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, actually. And now I live in Brooklyn, which is, I don't know. Yeah. And then I moved to Brooklyn, and, that's my life story. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good listen. Hey, listen.
That's the cliff notes right there for you.
You know what? That's perfectly fine. So were you like born and kind of like raised in Wisconsin, or you just ended up like started out in Milwaukee?
Nah, check this out. I'm from upstate New York, a place called Binghamton, right? It's like real seedy, it's small town, but like everybody's out to rob you. You know what I mean? Like the mayor of Binghamton is studying for his GED. You know what I mean? That's the type of place I'm from. I'm from a place where, yeah, I'm from a place where like people would like leave the wedding to take back cans and bottles, you know what I mean? Like, I'm from a rough little place, man. And, but I was able to read books, so I got out. And, I went to college, I got out, and I started working in TV. I was a photojournalist, and, I worked in a few places, and the final place I ended up was Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a TV news station called Fox 6. And it was while I was there that I had like a kind of a sad moment in my life, but it was like one of those times where you're like, it like shakes your soul. And I was like, man, I gotta change my life. And I always wanted to do stand-up comedy, so I wrote a couple of jokes and I went to an open mic, and then I've been doing stand-up ever since. And yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. That's how I got to Milwaukee, and that's how I started stand-up. And then you know, it was going good for a while, and then I started getting hired at comedy clubs like a lot, and I was like, it's time to quit my job. And the moment I quit my job, they stopped offering me gigs. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's it. And then I ended up moving to New York to chase the dream, but also to chase a woman and also to chase the bottle. You know, I've done it all.
So how is the chasing? Is the chasing good? Like, are you near the finish?
Not at all, man. I've told people this before, but I think with comedy, you're at the bottom until you're at the top. You know what I mean? And the bottom is huge. You know what I mean? People that like are kind of household names are still at the bottom because I'm on shows with people that you know. You know what I mean? There's comics that I see on TV are like my buddies and come to my bar show in Brooklyn and do that for free. You know, it's just, I kind of think that's the way the comedy business, unless you're selling out arenas, you haven't made it.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I'm not sure, if you don't enjoy comedy, I'm not sure if there's something wrong with you as a person, as a human being. Yeah, but it's like, other comedians that I've heard just kind of like, you know, do little short interviews, have always said, like, if you're not selling out arenas, then you really haven't, like, met the pinnacle of your career. And it's just like, God, that's a really, really tall task to meet, to sell out an arena. I mean, an arena isn't like 2,000 people.
Right.
It's a big bunch of people to sell out.
Well, it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but my point being that, like, I could be on a show with, okay, for example, like, I don't want to drop any names, but, like, some of my friends will be, like, on TV, like, the night before they'll do, like, they'll be on Comedy Central, but then the very next day we're doing the same bar show together, and the producer is paying us in drink tickets. And so you're always here until like you're a writer on TV or an actor in a show, and it's just like comedy's weird like that. And then it's weird because like my mom will think I'm like successful, you know what I mean? Because I have a comedy album out, and I'm like, Mom, you know what I mean? I mean, I was like, Mom, people have to download it first, you know what I mean? Because I have it, you know what I mean?
They gotta buy the subscription. They gotta buy it still. That's crazy.
Oh.
But I've been fighting. Can anybody hear me?
Now I can hear you.
No, we lost you for like 5 seconds.
Okay.
Now you're back.
There's probably a strain on my internet because my girlfriend, who's an actor, she's doing like a Zoom reading of like a Shakespeare play right now. Yeah.
You got a lot going on in the little household right now, huh?
Yeah, and we're not even home. We're actually hiding. We're hiding out in North Carolina. We left Brooklyn in March, end of March, and we've been here ever since. And we're staying at my girlfriend's dad's, and I mean it's been.
Wait, you're hiding? Like,
well,
is it like top secret? Like, are we exposing you now?
No, not really hiding like from any government agencies, but I mean child support enforcement a little bit, but not really, not like the feds or anything.
That's no, I'm glad.
No, but we came down here just because we live in like a small, tiny little apartment in Brooklyn, and we knew we were going to be quarantining and under lockdown for so long that we were like, we will kill each other, you know? Only one person can be in our kitchen at a time, so it's like...
My friend's actually, he lives in New York, and like when all this shit started hitting the fan, he sent out like a thing on Facebook like, anyone who can give me a job, literally doesn't matter what state you're in, just, you know, if you can hook me up with a job and a place to live, like I'll pay you to do whatever, just like get out of New York because it like hit really bad over there or whatever. So fuck that.
Well, the irony is it's worse here now than it is in New York City. You know what I mean?
What's going on with that?
Yeah, because everybody's like partying and shit down here. You know what I mean? Nobody's wearing a mask. They're all like, they're like doing lap dances in the streets down here. It's
like Mardi Gras every day or something over there.
Yeah, everybody's like, nobody takes it serious here, so it's going up, and it's like, why? I don't know. I kind of.
It's absolutely terrible. I mean, like Florida is like it's already like beginning to shut down. Like they just opened up like weeks ago. Now they're like, oh shit, we gotta shut back down.
You motherfuckers! Couldn't you just wait 2 more weeks, man?
Yeah, exactly. And then they say, oh, we didn't open up. We didn't open up early at all. What are you talking about? You fuckers were the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole state was sharing like one mask. You know what I mean? I saw 2 people in Florida wearing the same mask. You know what I mean? I was like, it's not going to work that way, Chief.
I'm always kind of curious about when people have a profession or they have some type of field that they're in. Like, what was like your inspiration? Well, like who was like the comedian that kind of like steered you in the direction that you're at?
Ooh, there's a guy named Dov Davidoff who is really the number one comic for me. He was on that show Crashing. That's probably what he's like most well known for. But I bought his comedy album in like a bargain bin. Remember when you used to be able to buy CDs in stores and stuff?
Yeah. The good old days.
Yeah, I found his CD for $3.99 in this bargain bin, and I put it on. It's called Dov Davidoff's The Point Is. It's a killer album, man. Like, I mean, it's nonstop, and the way he delivers his comedy, it's like he kind of like on stage he like ratchets up his ADD a little bit, so it's like it's really hard to know where you're at in the joke. So you can't really guess the punchline, and by the time he hits you with the punchline, like, it's always like a surprise. And like, as soon as I heard that album, I was like, this is, yeah. I mean, I already wanted to do stand-up, and I had probably already done a few mics when I found out about this guy. But yeah, he was the guy that like changed it for me. I was like, this is how you do it. And before that, I mean, it was Richard Pryor before that. I can't even say the name of the album that inspired me, so you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, we have a good idea of what it is.
Yeah, but that was my favorite one, and I wasn't even trying to be a comic at the time when I had it. I was actually a DJ, and I was Scratch That Record. You know what I mean?
What?
And, yeah, I used to be a DJ, and I would like scratch that record. And then one day, like, both of the records are playing like this, right? And then the beat record stops, and Richard Pryor just keeps talking, and I just, like, was like, oh, this dude is funny, right? He's talking about, like, aliens coming down into the hood and, like, getting their ship stolen from them. Yeah. That for me, I was like, oh. So I never scratched it again after that. I started listening to that a lot. And
that's probably a good idea. You know... You're a man of all trades. I mean, a DJ and a comedian. Like you're like the best of both worlds, man.
Yeah. A news photographer. I do a show called The Low Budget Show, and I just talked about how I dabble in all kinds of stuff and never really finish anything. You know what I mean?
Wait, is that your Father's Day special that's going to be coming out?
What's that?
Is that going to be your Father's Day special episode that's coming out?
Yeah, that's the same show. That one's coming out Friday. It's yeah, check it out. It's called The Low Budget Show. It's so like my little baby.
I'm glad you brought that up because I want to know like what made you decide to start that? Like was there you just needed to do it because you just wanted to do it? Like what was it?
No, I got a better story than that. Like, a lot of people just start podcasts because they're, like, narcissistic and they want more and more and more.
What are you trying to say?
Doing... Well, you guys know, right?
Maybe Andrew, I don't know.
No, I actually...
Go ahead, my bad.
No, that's right. I actually... So, when I quit my job in the news, I was moving around. I had a girlfriend at the time who was a a nurse, and she would do like short periods of time at one hospital, and then we'd go to another city, and she'd get a little contract and do it there. And I have a drinking problem. What do you know? And I lost my license. So, yeah, I got a couple of DUIs. No big deal. But I lost my.
Same here. Yeah. Well, I didn't lose my license, but yeah, I have a problem.
I used to drunk drive from Chicago to Milwaukee like twice a week. The whole trip. I don't know why I'm laughing about that. You know what I mean?
Andrew is laughing too.
Yeah.
I have a serious issue. I do. I have a problem with it, but I'm working on it. And anyway, this is about the low budget show. So I lost my license, and when my girlfriend would go to her job, I couldn't drive my car, so I couldn't go to open mics, and I couldn't practice my comedy. So what I did was I just started hitting record on my cameras and talking to the camera as if it was like an open mic sort of, and then I edited it together into a show, and boom, low budget show was born.
No, I like that. Like your cameras, the way you position them in your room. Or I'm assuming it's your room. Like how you just kind of like look, and it's like it flashes to one camera, and then it'll come back to a different camera. It's very like it's amusing. Just that part right there. When I started watching, I was like, that right there is just amusing to me. I mean, maybe that's because I'm just not as, I don't know. It's just amusing.
Well, the show is technically supposed to take place inside my brain, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, okay. I feel like, so I'll be a little extra honest on there. I'm like, why did I just talk about wetting the bed? You know what I mean? Like, things like that. And, but
it happens to all of us. If you haven't wet the bed as an adult, then we've got problems. I think every adult has wet the bed.
Well, yeah. Right?
So, like, the last time that I pissed myself was, like, I think like a year or two ago. But it was on accident. It's just because I got a small dick and I didn't think that, I thought it was past my pants, you know what I mean?
But this time it was on accident as not like the other times where it was on purpose.
No, I love pissing myself. I really do. I have a fetish.
That's cool. I've seen some videos like that. You know, where the girls' sweatpants get like extra gray.
Oh, the girls snakes out of their mouths. Like, there's some dad out there who's gone on to jack off and then seen like his daughter or his niece, and it's like, I would be so fucking depressed, dude. I mean, my daughter can do whatever she wants, but I wouldn't want to see it. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, that would be a fucked up thing to wander onto, right? I'm always looking for ex-girlfriends on there. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, come on, just tell me one of you guys is doing worse than when we were together. You know, just one of you. Just one of you has to have gone downhill since we broke up. No? You're all doing better? Oh, great.
Like, son of a bitch. So to me, out of everything that anybody does, I feel like a comedian has. How do you guys come up with material?
I mean, honestly, I wish I knew. You know what I mean? Because then I'd have more of it.
It's like there's so many comedians that come up with so much material, and granted, like, you know, a lot of times you watch like these specials on HBO or Comedy Central, and they'll kind of bring back their classics, but to constantly come up with something new, it blows my mind. Like, how does one's brain work that way?
Well, I mean, honestly, I feel like you have to just be willing to. I can't. There's some people who can just think of things and write it down, and I kind of have to go on stage and take a risk and just start talking. And if it doesn't go anywhere, then I jump into old material that already works. And then when I get a good laugh off of the old material, then I wander off and just ad-lib again. And then usually I'll bump into something that kind of works, and then I'll form it later. And that's my process. And then that way it also doesn't come out canned. You know what I mean? Like when you just sit down with a notebook and a pen and you're just like, okay, so I'd like to write a joke about cars. What's funny about cars? You know, and then you're like, it doesn't feel authentic to me. So I like to get on stage and I like to just open my mouth, and usually it's not always pretty the first time. But, you know, if I start talking about like losing my virginity or something, and then the next time I get on stage I kind of talk about it again and it's a little bit funnier and tighter, and then I don't know, that's how I do it.
So that's how you work on like your timing or whatever?
Just
you know
just
what I mean? Feeling out the crowd.
Yeah, and then you just keep what works. Keep what works, expand on it next time. And I think that's the thing about comedy is like if you're a garage band, if you and a couple of guys put a band together, you can practice in your garage until you're really good and then go out and show it to the public. But as a comic, you got to go up at dog shit. You got to be terrible in front of people from beginning to end. You know, people have to see you. I used to do an open mic called the Miramar in Milwaukee when I first started, and they would give you a CD of your set after every time. And I made a mistake about 4 or 5 years in. I put on my first comedy set. Oh, I swear to God I was going to cut my wrists. I was like, what?
It's funny you say that. There's this venue in around the area that we live. I can't remember the name. But either way, I don't want to hype them up because the venue fucking sucked. But at the end of your set, like they would give you a CD of your band, like of your set that you did. And listening to it, I knew I didn't do good because I'm a vocalist, but not in a band anymore. But I was like, oh, it probably sounded fine. I sounded so bad, and I could have killed myself right then and there. I fucking hated it. But people still came out to see us, so hey, fuck it.
I know. You know what's funny? I also, when I first started, it didn't matter if I did good or if I did bad, and I mostly did bad, because the feeling you get from it is so exhilarating that you think you did better than you did, And so, because it's just like a high, and you're like, oh, that was so good. And then looking back, you're like, ah, man. I mean, I could watch a tape from 2 years ago and hate it. And, but what I used to do is, like, when I first started, I invited everybody from my job to come watch, right? And I realize I suck now, and now that I'm like a pro, right? Now that I get paid to do this, they won't come see me because like they will always picture the guy on stage talking about Taco Bell and diarrhea. You know what I mean? I've grown. I'm good now, actually. 5 years from now, I won't think I will. I won't think I was good now. What was that?
Taco Bell and diarrhea, that is funny, because that usually goes hand in hand.
Yeah, well, I know. I just didn't realize it was, it was hacky and cheap and easy. Something happened to me, I'd say around 3 or 4 years in, when I just like opened up, like I didn't go for the low hanging fruit anymore, and I was willing to bomb. I think what happened was I was just like willing to bomb more, and when you're willing to bomb, you'll go places that aren't as safe, and then the payoff is better. And I don't know. I'm talking about myself a lot. Is that how an interview works?
Yeah, you know what? That's absolutely fine. But my question is, with like social media and the way people are kind of like nowadays, I guess people are a little bit more sensitive to certain things, regardless if you are a comedian, not comedian. Like, people are just sensitive. So when you come up with your material, do you kind of do you push the limits, or do you kind of stay within the barriers of your act?
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I don't intentionally ever push buttons, but I'm a dark individual to begin with. Like, I'm always going to be, just by nature, in that realm where, like, people are like, maybe you don't say that, and I can't help it. I don't intentionally go out to be like a shock comic or anything like that. That's kind of hack. But I do end up in some areas where I'm like I'll go, and I don't know. It's weird because like there's certain people who can't. I don't know where I was going with this. So yeah, I got lost. I don't know. I haven't drank in 7 months. My brain's still just drying out.
That's awesome to hear. I don't know if I could ever do that. You're a god amongst men, dude.
Trust me, I needed it. But yeah, try and answer your question. Do you edit this, by the way, or are you gonna leave in all my fumble mumbles?
You know what? We the way we come out is the way we come out. Like we're raw and authentic, and to me, there's no reason to edit because I feel like if I'm editing stuff, I'm presenting a false narrative.
All right.
So so that's just the way we operate.
Yeah. So then I'll answer your question cleanly. No, I don't write topical stuff on purpose. Like if it's on my mind, I'll talk about it. I've had my girlfriend say, maybe take that down. You know what I mean? But she's more successful and famous than I am, so she has to be guarded. You know what I mean?
I got you on that. So during this quarantine and all this, what is driving you for you to come up with more creative material? So once we eventually in 5 years open up as for the world, like what's your driving force?
Well, I really want to get back out on the stage. I mean, just the fact that it went away, it was like, it's like such a dagger in the heart. It's like, you're just like, you miss it. And then fucking Florida acting like shitheads. You know what I mean? It's like, put your fucking mask on, Miles. You know what I mean? We got shit to do.
We do. Everybody listening to this needs to take a couple things out of this. Number one, wear a fucking mask.
Yeah, wear a mask, man. Just so we can go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We want to go back into normalcy.
Yo, my girlfriend's dad is like this super Republican dude, and so he was like, as soon as Trump was like, masks are stupid, he was like, yeah, I don't wear masks anymore. And I'm like, you're fucking 84, bro. You want to die right on this grocery trip or what?
Put your mask on, man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it's like, just let us get back out there, because I didn't realize it, but man, it's really the only thing I have. I have nothing without it. And there's been many a times over the last couple of years where I'm like, that's my last set. I'm never going on stage again, just because, I get pissed about this or that. And now I realize I was really just talking out of my ass, because I don't think I could live without this. And so, yeah, that's my driving force is to get back. So I've been sending emails, and it sucks because I'll send emails to venues and stuff, and sometimes the replies will be, hey, we went out of business, and that's fucking awful, man. Yeah. And so, and that's just the reality of the world, man. Like, people are fucking this has really affected some people,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
when you really dig into it, it's definitely affected so many people and so many small businesses, and I don't think they're definitely looking at the big picture of it. It's become more of a political venture than anything else. Unfortunately.
I'd rather you wear a Confederate flag mask than no mask at all. You know what I mean?
At this point, right?
Right. Plus, it'll cover up your face tattoos. You fucking scumbags. Get back in the trailer till it's over.
I like you. I really do. You're cool.
So, yeah.
So
I don't know, dude. That's where I've been hanging my hope on that. So if they tell us that it's going to be another year, I don't know. I'm not that stable of a guy. I will take a bath with a toaster. I'm not above that, So
Great.
I haven't been able to write much either because, like I said, I write about my life and I practice it on stage, and then that's how I come up with stuff. And so I wrote this shit. If I could find my notebook out, I wrote this joke about being 40. It's garbage, bro. It doesn't even work. I have no one to like bounce shit off of. Oh no, I wrote this one about a work friend. This is funny. Here, this will be the first time anybody's ever heard this joke.
Oh.
Hey. You ever run into somebody you work with outside of work? I'm talking about a person you see 5 days a week. You'd never say a word to them, but the moment you see them in the real world, you're like, oh my God, it's Jeff! Holy fuck, I haven't seen you since 5 o'clock. How have you been? You know what I mean? Something like that.
But it's so true, though.
Yeah, but I would
It's so true.
I would be able to find this. I'd be able to find the actual joke in there better if I could just talk to people.
I hear you. That's gotta be tough for you, man. But you know, let's ask some questions to get you know you a little bit more. So, Andrew, you got like a couple questions right off the top of your head, like right now.
Do you know who Kyle Cease is?
Kyle Cease?
Yeah, the comedian. He had this special. It was called Weirder, Blacker, Dimpler, or something. And it was like the set was just like one continuous like joke throughout the whole thing, and it was just like not like poop jokes, essentially the whole time. But I feel like if you can write off like one joke into the next, I feel like that's like a really cool thing. Have you ever had a set where you're just fucking hitting every single joke and everybody's vibing with you?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. There's something people refer to it as like being in the zone or the killing zone, and like some of it is stuff that's written and that's just like in your brain, and then some of it is just on the fly, and it's all just like weaving together in this like magical moment, and it's like when you're in there, I've done that. And yeah, there's something really great when you can like just everything is like smooth, and so the answer is to answer your question, I've never heard of this guy, but I'll definitely check it out. 2, transitions are great for like if you can write smoothly from one subject into the other, and it's just like a good conversation. And 3, I have problems with that sometimes. You know what I mean? I just run out of gas on a subject, and I'm like, so gas prices are high again. You know.
So, all right. I just got a normal question. So favorite porn star?
Oh man, Cherokee the ass.
Andrew,
Okay.
you know?
I'm gonna Google right now because I've never heard of this woman.
The last name is D''ASS. Cherokee. And you'll know why the moment a picture comes up. You'll know exactly why she's my favorite.
That is dummy thick. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
So I don't find women with big butts attractive because I don't know if I have enough pipe to lay, past the ass if I'm hitting it from behind. That makes me feel emasculated or whatever. So I like a woman who's just flat. It's just real flat and boring. makes me shine. Yeah.
Yo, Andrew, that's hilarious. I had a roommate named Jason, right? And he picked up this girl from the bar that had the fattiest fatty, right? It was so big, and he was scared. He was scared to hit it doggy. He like came out and he was like, "Hey, I'm scared of this." And so he was like in there missionary, like, how do you like that? Is this satisfying?
I was talking to this girl and she was like, "Yeah, the last guy I fucked, he tried hitting it from the back and he was going at it. He was literally just fucking her ass cheeks, and she was so embarrassed. She didn't want to like tell him anything, so she let him finish like that. It's like that's got to be so fucking embarrassing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my god! All right, a couple more. favorite, I see you wearing a Simpsons shirt.
Yeah.
All right. So favorite Simpsons character.
Favorite Mo Sislak, baby.
Yes.
I fucking love Mo and his remember that episode where he had like a rope for a belt? Mo. Yo, I love how sleazy, poor, shystery that I love that about Mo. He's definitely my favorite.
Mo's good. Mo would be one I want to be. Let's see here. Andrew, you got one?
When you did drink, what was your drink of choice?
Oh man, I would. Well, beer, because I had to have something beer, but Jameson. Yeah, beer and Jameson. Jameson's real. Beer was like the base. Like imagine you got like a meal and they put like a lettuce bed down and then they put the stuff on top of the lettuce. So beer was my lettuce and then Jameson whiskey and then or whatever was there.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. No, but
when I first moved to New York, I was so broke I would have a backpack full of beer that I would go to bars with. And then I would go into the bathroom and drink these warm beers I've been carting around on the train all day. And just pound them before I go up on stage because, I can't go on stage sober. Are you kidding me? God. So yeah, I've been busted a few times drinking beers they don't sell at certain venues, you know. If I made the mistake of getting booked at a classier venue where they don't sell PBR or something, I'll be this is going to be tough,
I've never related to somebody so much in my entire life.
Yeah, God.
That's good. I'm glad that we can bring this together for both of you, especially Andrew.
We're gelling, baby.
All right, so we did that, Andrew. So one more good one.
Are you gonna say one, or do you want me to say one?
You got one? Go right ahead.
Okay, so if you're to pick a venue. That it doesn't have to be some grandiose venue, but one that means a lot to you, which one would be one that you want to play someday?
Well, I want to really play at the world famous comedy store in LA. I did go on stage there one time, but it was part of the potluck open mic thing on Mondays. But I would like to do a real set there for sure. And the thing is, I have a friend who's a doorman there who kind of cheated and snuck me into the list because usually it's a lottery and it's hard to get. It's really hard but just being in the comedy store, you feel that history of Kinnison and everybody who's been there, and it's just yeah. If I could go. So I've only been on stage for 3 minutes at the comedy store in my life. I would like to get up there for a 4th minute. Yeah, definitely that. But my home club was Milwaukee's Comedy Cafe, and they went out of business. And so if they could resurrect that place, I would love to get back on stage there. You know what I mean? That was my home.
Nice. Well, Damon, we definitely appreciate your time, sir.
Yes, and thank you guys for having me. This was a lot of fun.
This was fun. Well, we'll definitely have to reach out again in 6 months and see where everybody's at. But for everybody, yeah, where can we find you?
Okay, well, my website has everything on there, so it's DamonMillard.com, DamonMillard.com, and then on the other socials are at Millard Comedy, Millard, so at Millard Comedy on Instagram and Twitter. And then I also run something called Punching Bag Comedy, so you can find that on Facebook. But all of that's, if you just go to my website, you find all that shit. And, yeah. So there's that. But, on YouTube, I'm hoping to blow up the Low Budget Show because it's really become my baby. It's been my baby since quarantine's kept me from doing anything else. Yeah. And this next one, this Friday, is super funny. Trust me, you're gonna have to trust me on that.
I can't wait. I enjoy it. I went back and I literally sat and watched I binge watched all your stuff. I mean, so
Sweet. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. So it's good. So I'm looking forward for this Friday for your Father's Day one. So
When does this podcast come out?
so this one is going to be released on Monday.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
by the time this comes out, that episode will be available. Awesome.
Yes. So yeah, it's kind of weird, like the way you have to like present your podcast in the sense of like
Yeah.
when things are getting released and date. Yeah. But yeah, so by the time this is released, when you're listening to this, go back and check out Damon's YouTube channel.
Yeah, go watch it right now.
Go watch it right now. So with that, Damon, like I said, we appreciate you coming on, and we'll definitely have to do this again.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, man. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for listening to the Second City podcast. If you're listening to this on Apple, please leave us a nice review. Rate us 5 stars. It would be greatly appreciated. Regardless of what app you're listening to this fine podcast on, leave us a rating. Leave us a review. All right. Let everybody know that this podcast is the shit. Thank you very much. We appreciate you listening, and we will talk to you guys very, very soon.